163 carries for 686 yards this season for Colin Hart. 6 rushing touchdowns from the 44. They go back to him. Hart is stopped after a minimal gain. Here is the Tulsa defense. Defensive line, they're fantastic. Berto DeMora, you see him there. Chris Andrews and Jaden Swift's trio of linebackers. Miles Gibson, Carson Miller, and Philadelphia Collins, and 6 standouts in the secondary. Nate Heslip, the veteran. Cameron Shaw, King Rashid, and the safeties Daniel Wright, Ricky Thornton, and Travis Arthur. It's a very young defense on the whole. After a gain of 1, Utah slings it out. Lots of running room for Hart out of the backfield, and he is shouldered a yard short of the sticks. Nice stop back there by Ricky Thornton, but a gain of 8 through the sky for Colin Hart.
Yeah, and for Colin Hart, looking to pick up some more yardage here, a very unique look that Louisiana's had all season long with this dual running back approach, and it has worked out for them well so far.
Welcome to Greenwood District Stadium. Haven't missed much. First drive of the game for Louisiana. If you're just joining us, up the middle they go. Another run for a first down, and that's Randy Squarebush. His first carry of the day, wearing the white arm guards this time. Again, Louisiana running for a first down, and they get it.
Yes, and so they're moving the ball with conviction down the field. However, it's around this part of the field where they start to struggle a little bit, and they start to sputter out.
31 made kicks this year for Boudreaux, most in the league. Utah zips it, and it's caught. Nice gain. Out inside the 10-yard line they go. Every play on this drive has been for positive yardage so far. Adam Banks, who joined this team in Week 9 against Charleston, has been really solid, and he's got his first catch of the day.
Yes, and, Adam Banks, even in that first game against the Preds, he was able to put up some decent numbers in that 15-0 win over in the 8-4-3, and now for Louisiana's first and goal.
Just about every catch, if not every catch that he had in that game went for a first down, and so does that one. Utah will toss it out. Here goes Hart accelerating, and Colin Hart scores. Louisiana drives the length of the field on its first drive. Second receiving touchdown for Colin Hart this season, and the Revs are off and running.
Yep, the Revs are going strong here. 6 points on the board for them as Tulsa is now put immediately on the back foot.
Now goes over 1,000 total yards of offense in his first season playing for Louisiana. And the offense for Louisiana, what problems? They looked fantastic on that drive. Capped off by a 9-yard receiving touchdown from Colin Hart. Again, just his second receiving touchdown of the season. So here comes Otis Boudreaux, a surefire all-star here in season 18. And he knocks through an early PAT. An impressive opening drive, Jack. Louisiana starts at their own 20. They march down the field again. No negative plays. Some went for 1 or 2 yards, yeah, but just nicely done. 11 total plays, counting that PAT. Split evenly, 6 runs, 5 passes, and a 9-yard receiving touchdown from Hart. Well, Tulsa will receive, now trailing 7-0, and Gabriel Manning, one of the best kick returners in SFL history, will take it out to the 22. It's amazing what Manning is able to do year in and year out. He's got more receiving yards in his career, more kick return yards in his career than receiving yards in his career, which is pretty amazing because he's pretty good wide receiver as well. Now in his 9th total season in the SFL and 4th playing for Deion Hawkins and Tulsa. So the Desperados, it's been a struggle for them on offense at times this year as well, but Douglas Brown has been one of the bright spots. He gets the first carry of the game, spins around, and picks up 6. Leonard Butler Sr. makes the stop, with the rookie who was the first overall pick in the most recent SFL draft has had a strong year.
Yeah, no, he's definitely been able to put up some decent yards. Especially like these young guys that teams really like to get involved with. It's kind of like a sink or swim sort of situation. If you're a running back in Douglas Brown's position, and he has swam pretty much like an Olympic swimmer. I don't know how else to put it.
Another offside call, perhaps, as JQ will toss it out to the top of the screen. Not a lot doing there for Tulsa. Hit immediately by cornerback Evan Arthur, and that was Stephen McMichaels, the fullback, on that catch. Will we see an offside? We will. Second today.
Yeah, got the Revolution to jump off sides. This is getting loud here, much like Autzen Stadium. as the Tulsa Desperados are wearing uniforms in tribute to the University of Oregon Ducks.
Well done.
I wasn't that reference.
I wasn't sure how you were going to do it, but you did it very well. Very good. I'll just let them do it, whatever color it is. It's not in Tulsa's normal colors, we'll put it that way, but it's kind of almost close to Louisiana's colors. On the ground they go. Here's Brown, and a nice run for Brown. Give him about 5, so that penalty was assessed to Leonard Butler Sr., who made the first tackle and then was guilty of the offside. Tulsa accepted, got the first down, and another nice strong run for Brown, who has good numbers this year, but his average obviously leaves quite a bit to be desired. He's 6th in the league in carries and 10th in yards, but 24th in yards per carry, exactly 4 yards per tote. JQ, the quarterback, has really struggled. He will throw for the first time short of the sticks and out of bounds, they say, going for the standout wideout Gabriel Manning.
Yeah, that was not a bad throw per se. Gets a couple yards on him. Makes a 3rd and manageable for the Tulsa Desperados.
Get anything, and Manning has had a decent year by most people's standards, but by his standards, a down season. 46 catches for 553 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's not on the leaderboard in anything. It's kind of a surprise. 3rd and 5, early 3rd down for Tulsa. Q under pressure, and down he goes. Louisiana has not been great at getting sacks on the balance of this season, Jack, but on their first defensive drive of the game, they get one. Chance Wall, the second-year man from Illinois, has this one.
Yep, keeps things going strongly for Louisiana as, a score now forcing a punt from the Tulsa Desperados. The momentum is firmly on their side.
It's Wall with just his 2nd sack of the season. He was really good as a rookie at 5 sacks and 9 TFLs, but a lot quieter here in year 2. They will force the punt from Ismaila Farouk, and a nice hit on the return attempt by Adam Banks. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. And a fantastic start for Louisiana, a touchdown and then a quick stop on defense. Here goes Randy Squarebush in a driving run for Squarebush and a gain of 12 on first down.
Yeah, Squarebush, they kind of, Louisiana's been using him as a little bit of a specialty halfback this year. Of course, Louisiana coming in with a very different look on offense, the 2 halfback solution, and this is showing what it can do when it's at its peak.
Pretty much a 2-to-1 ratio for Colin Hart in just about everything. It's pretty crazy how exactly this ratio is played out now over 10 weeks in this new system. More on that as we go along. Tulsa puts 4 on the line. They don't do that very often. Utah fires wide open over the middle. Another nice gain, and that's B. Robo. Check that. Garrison Blue, the tight end, with his first catch of the day out across enemy territory.
Yeah, and Garrison Blue just got wide open. Nobody from Tulsa was able to clamp down on him. And, it's another 1st and 10 for Louisiana.
Get those numbers early for Tommy Utah, bolstered by that passing touchdown out of the flats to Colin Hart. Yeah, but this is totally different from his first game against Tulsa. Big run for Squarebush, his 2nd double-digit run of this drive, and he gets to the Tulsa 18.
Yeah, and just keep on running is Randy Squarebush. You can see here just parting the Red Seas, that Louisiana offensive line, and there was no one to touch him for a good few seconds. And those few seconds is what makes the play happen.
Cameron Collier is one of the best all-purpose fullbacks in the SFL for my money, Jack. He can run, he can catch, he can block. Showed that in his first couple of years with Lone Star. Now in his 2nd season, paving the way for Louisiana, but paving the way for 2 different guys this year after he helped Reggie Streeter have yet another great year last year. From the red zone again, Utah is taken down from behind. Tulsa is one of the best sacking teams in the SFL. The Desperados have their first today. Berto DeMora has number 6.
Yeah, Berto DeMoro looking a little bit like a Kayvon Thibodeau out there running around causing chaos within the backfield. Oh, Tim, I can play this game of Oregon references all day.
Hopefully Tulsa wins some games like Oregon used to, as Utah fires into traffic, and somehow that is caught blanket coverage, but Blue is able to make that catch. Cameron Shaw was all over him, and that's what Tulsa's hoping for, obviously. This 5-5 record is kind of like what Oregon's been doing a lot more recently than they have been in the history of that program, but that's enough of that for me. Gain of about 5 for Blue, and now 3rd and 7. And Louisiana has a fantastic kicker. Less than 2 to go in the first quarter. Utah under pressure, and down he goes again. 2 sacks on this set of downs. Berto DeMora in there again for Tulsa.
Yep, and that time it was just getting Tommy Utah out of the pocket, getting him uncomfortable. You see, the second that he stepped out, Tulsa knew they had the sack, and now out comes, well, everyone knows the name, Otis Boudreaux.
Somebody used to call Berto DeMora the Milford Mauler, Milford, Mass, where Berto hails from, and he has mauled Tommy Utah twice in the span of 3 plays. So now our first look at a field goal attempt from Otis Boudreaux, who has made all but 1 this season, and the one that he missed was blocked. No problem that time. Field goal number 32 for number 19, 10-0 Louisiana. And
now for Boudreaux, the score difference between him and the rest of the offense is back down to just 1 point. And for Louisiana, they're now up 2 possessions, and Tulsa's already kind of dug themselves into a bit of an interesting hole, because against this Louisiana defense, being down 2 possessions is not an easy thing to come back from.
No doubt. Something we haven't even been able to talk about yet is how good this Louisiana defense is. Their offense has had its struggles over the balance of the season. There's no question about it, but their special teams is excellent, and their defense is top tier. Manning gets out to the 22 for the 2nd time. It's one of the best defensive units in the league in a lot of ways, Jack. They're fantastic at taking the ball away. They don't give up a ton of yards, 2nd fewest in the league, and the fewest points per game allowed, 18.5. That is the lowest mark in the SFL. Baltimore is the next closest at 21.1. So point and 2.5 points make it better than the next closest competitor. JQ will have to throw. Out of the backfield they go. Douglas Brown makes the catch. Not something he's done a whole lot of in his rookie season. Only 35 catches as opposed to 230 rushes, but he gets 4 there. Now over 200 total receiving yards this season for Douglas Brown. Had his first career receiving touchdown a week ago as Tulsa came up on the losing side against Florida. They've lost back-to-back games after they won their previous 3. On the fringes of the playoff picture right now. Here goes Brown, nowhere to go. Nice tackle by Tank Bennett. Here is the Tulsa offense for Berto DeMora and Deion Hawkins. JQ, the quarterback. Douglas Brown, the tailback. Stephen McMichaels, the fullback. 4-star wideouts, Gabriel Manning, DJ Hume, Corey Jones, and Sonzo Robinson. And 2 standout tight ends, Jason France and Jim Copeland Jr. And the offensive line is anchored by left tackle Will Stevens. 3rd and 5 now for the Desperados. Q steps and fires, and it's swatted away. Great coverage out there by Mike Ryan, who has been fantastic in his first 2 seasons in the SFL, Jack, putting together a career year.
Yeah, Mike Ryan, one of the premier defensive backs here in the SFL, started his first year out in San Diego, came here to Louisiana, and has been the anchor of the secondary, which is odd to say considering the fact of how large of a veteran presence is on this Louisiana defense.
If you told me that even Arthur was going to have the worst year of the 5 members of this Louisiana secondary, I would have told you were crazy. He's one of the best corners in the league, has been for a long time, but only 2 pass deflections and 1 interception for even Arthur. Everybody else in this secondary has at least 2. Again, Louisiana, one of the best takeaway teams in the SFL, 32 takeaways to be precise, 2nd most. Only Sioux Falls has more, and the Sparrows have a lot more, 41 takeaways through 10 games, which is obscene, and Sioux Falls is also the only team that is better than Louisiana in turnover differential. So no turnovers to be had so far here, but 2 punts forced by the Rev defense against JQ and company. On the ground, they'll go back. Remember, they kind of have split the running attack so far in their first 2 drives, Jack. First drive was all Colin Hart. Second drive was no Colin Hart, all Squarebush. This time they get 3 as we've hit the end of the first quarter. All Revs so far trying to wrap up an East Division title in Season 18. It's 10-0 Louisiana. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. Happy to have you with us. Greenwood District Stadium in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the site. Alongside Jack Brown, I'm Tim Hackett. Happy to have you with us. Only one more week of the regular season still to go after all the games wrap up today. Only 3 more after hours. Here's Utah firing over the middle and across the 40-yard line. Another big completion for Utah. This one goes to Chase Earl.
Yeah, that was a huge play there from Tommy Utah. You can see this here, just drops back, and there's Chase Earl, pops out from in between the defense. At that point, it was pretty much a first down, almost guaranteed, so long as he didn't drop it.
Earl has had such a quiet year. This was a former standout, former #1 wide receiver, but only 36 catches, 351 yards, and 1 touchdown for Earl this season. But a good start for him here. Sidearm sling from Utah. Earl's got another one. Chase Earl out to the 27-yard line and a gain of 15. Make that the 22-yard line and a gain of 15.
Yeah, another big play and gets him to nearly within the red zone. Strange that we're seeing the passing attack from Louisiana come alive at this point in the ball game.
No doubt. Tommy Utah is an average passer in terms of attempts and yards, and one of the best completion percentages, but now only 10 touchdowns throwing. That's the last in the league. He looks for another one here as he lofts it up, and it's hauled in, streaking down the middle of the field to the 2-yard line, a gain of 20 through the sky. Another big gain, and that's Collier who hauls it in.
Yeah, another just simple play, and it's kind of almost strange that Tulsa left him wide open. Had he caught that a little bit more in stride, that would have been a touchdown.
4th different player, Jack, with a 20-plus yard gain already, through the air at least, in this first half. Earl, Banks, Blue, and now Collier. From the 2, Louisiana has so many options from this down and distance. Utah will throw. Oh, that was a risky option. They have so many choices, and that was one of the worst that he could have made. Nate Heslip, one-on-one coverage in the back corner, advantage Tulsa.
Yeah, never mind when when you have all these running options. Surprised they didn't go for that. But, you know, if Tommy Utah, if he's got the hot hands right now, you may as well put him to good use.
10 total rushing touchdowns from this 3-headed monster attack that Louisiana has. Hart, Squarebush, and Collier. That's Collier lined up offset right with Hart in the backfield. Utah will call out the signals. 1 receiver to the top. Tulsa stacks the line in defense, and they jump once again. Here goes Hart, and Tulsa is ready to stop him up. Great work right on the line of scrimmage. Miles Gibson, the linebacker, is there, as well as Cameron Shaw, the corner, who steps up to make the play. But let's see what the call is. Wow. 3rd total one of those penalties that we've seen today, Jack, and 2nd against Tulsa.
Yeah. Very jumpy so far.
Yeah, no kidding. Both of these teams clearly realizing the momentousness of this game and the division title on the line. If Louisiana wins, the title is theirs. Tulsa needs a win to stay alive and potentially to stay alive in the playoff race. Reset the down. Utah zips it to the back corner. What a catch! Chase Earl is having a game. Just his 2nd touchdown grab of the season. It comes here in week 13. Louisiana extends the lead.
He did some dancing in the back of the end zone, was really close there. Gets the feet down, though, like a little ballerina. And it is a now 16-point lead in favor of the Louisiana Revolution.
Get that line for Tommy Utah. 131 passing yards and already 2 touchdowns. The first time that these two teams met up in week 3, he threw for 271 yards, completed just 56% of his passes, no touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. The worst game of this season for the sophomore quarterback from Tyler, Texas. Low snap. And the PAT from Boudreaux is up and good. He makes it look easy somehow. So Utah, he struggled out of the gates last year, Jack. I got to see Louisiana a couple of times, and Utah, as a rookie quarterback, as you know, rookies in this league can struggle out of the gates before they finally settle in. And so Utah struggled a little bit out of the gates here in year 2 as well, but he's really settled in. He's an average quarterback in terms of attempts and completions. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just mean league average. And though he's below average in yards, he doesn't throw a lot of picks. He has a fantastic completion percentage. The only problem is he just doesn't throw a lot of touchdowns. But that's really just, to me, an indication of how this team has gone. They don't score very often because, as you pointed out earlier, they move down the field and have to settle for 3 most of the time. But so far today, not the case.
Yeah, it seems to be that Louisiana's offense is finally coming into their own and doing what most offenses look to do on most drives, and they've been scoring in their defense. It's been as good as ever. Tulsa, it's not really a must-score situation. It's a highly recommended you score situation.
Absolutely. They're down by 17 in the blink of an eye, and their offense has barely had the ball. We haven't even been able to introduce you to the Louisiana defense, so let's do that now as Douglas Brown picks up 5. 5 standouts on the line for the Revs: Leonard Butler Sr., Brian Craven, Luther Gahn, Chance Wall, and Ross Napoli. Linebackers Chuck Diesel, Slyn Shady, and Blake B. Craze. And the secondary is a good one: Even Arthur, Rolliman Hood, Mike Ryan, Tank Bennett, and the rookie Dante Grimm. Second down, here goes Brown, and down goes Brown. No gain on that one. Stopped up by a trio of Rev defenders, including Slyn Shady and Chance Wall, who's been a force today.
Yeah, still keeping things honest here for Tulsa. Now they're up on a 3rd and 5. They need this first down.
Down, they've barely moved the chains. They've got a first down in each of their first 2 possessions, but nothing past that. 3rd and 5. Here's Q looking this way, and it's dropped by Gabriel Manning. Words I never thought that I would say, Jack Brown. He was hit immediately by standout corner Even Arthur, and that never helps, but that was in his hands.
Yeah, that is surprising to say the least. That,
wow.
Yeah, it's, I don't know how to put it. You know, he's usually money with the ball, and that time he just kind of drops it.
That is his nickname, Gabriel Money Manning. And honestly, on second look, he dropped it before Arthur even made contact with him. So it's one thing if the corner lays the shoulder pads into you and jars it loose, but that ball was out of his hands before Arthur even made contact. So a straight up drop for Manning. And this drive grinds to a halt. Surprising for JQ. Yeah, he's been okay so far today, but his offense has not helped him out. Decent punt from Farouk, returnable though for Banks, who has been pretty good returning punts in limited action. You get a look at the yardage breakdown. Check it out. Nearly 200 for Louisiana, only 23 net yards for Tulsa through 3 possessions. The yards per play difference, insane.
Yeah, it's pretty much been like a tale so far of Louisiana domination. And they're looking to continue it on to this drive.
Their number 1 passing weapon, B. Robo, hasn't even touched the ball. There's a good start for Tulsa. Again, one of the best tackles for loss team in the SFL. A loss of 4 on first down for Miles Gibson. Second-year middle linebacker, has TFL number 3. Native of Grand Rapids, Michigan, an area I'm sure you're familiar with, Jack.
Yep. Well, I'm on the other side of the state from him then. I'm down by Detroit.
Well, at least you're more familiar with the area than I am, as I clearly just proved. After a 4-yard loss. Well, I've been there at least, as Utah throws then right on cue. B. Robo has his first catch of the game. It has been a killer season for Robo. The former tight end for this team has turned into a career year in all facets. He's got his first catch.
Yeah, just got out to the outside, getting a nice little post route, and catches the ball inbounds, goes out of bounds. Not much more that you can really ask.
Just barely avoids becoming the 5th different Rev receiver to catch a 20-plus yard ball. Our statisticians have him at 17 on his first catch. Over 800 receiving yards now on the campaign. Risky throw from Utah right into the hands of Cameron Shaw, and he is off to the races. A Kickstarter for Tulsa. 2nd touchdown this season for quarterback Cameron Shaw.
And look at that, just sat on the route. Why did Utah even throw that? And Cameron Shaw, he's gone. There's no way anyone could have caught him at that point. Touchdown, Tulsa Desperados. And just like that, they're making this back into a ball game.
That is the 5th defensive touchdown scored by a Desperado player this season, Jack. Their offense has scored 25 total over the course of the year between Q, Brown, and company. 5 defensive scores, 2 for Shaw, 2 for Daniel Wright, and 1 for the rookie King Rashid. And that is a way to get this Desperado team off and running after they had nothing going. Louisiana was all systems go. And now the Desperados are finally on the board. Sometimes it's all you need, right, in this league is some kind of spark. The defense has to go right back out there as Brooke Beisel hits the PAT, but that's exactly what you need sometimes in this league.
Yeah, just that little spark to throw into the gasoline that is your team's offense, and you could be off to the races.
The 18th interception thrown by Tommy Utah. He came in with 17. That was 7th fewest in the SFL. So again, a real good check down quarterback, if you will. Great completion percentage, 75%. Not a ton of yards, but not a ton of picks. Ooh, big hit on special teams by Jim Copeland Jr., the number 2 tight end. Poor Adam Banks had nowhere to go.
Yeah, just got it over the middle, and yeah, just not much really going on that kick return.
One of the good things that Tulsa has done defensively this season, we've mentioned some of the stats that do not paint them in a positive light. Most yards, second most passing yards, but they are also an excellent takeaway team. 27 takeaways before that one, 5th most in the league. Utah will go right back to the air. He'll go right back into traffic, and that should have been picked off again by Cameron Shaw. Second drop of this quarter by a Tulsa player.
How many hands got onto that ball? It really should have been going the other way, and now Tommy Utah seems to be having a bad habit right now. He's slowly regressing back into his more usual form.
Again, 5 interceptions when these two teams played earlier this year. So put it another way, in Louisiana's other 9 games, only 12 interceptions thrown. That is an excellent ratio, especially in this league where quarterbacks throw a ton of picks. Similar route as to the one that was intercepted, but Earl is covered nicely by Cameron Shaw. Makes the catch, but only gets 6.
Yeah, able to move the ball just a little bit. That's about all you can ask for. 3rd and 4. Playbook's pretty wide open at this rate.
Earl going off against Tulsa for the 2nd time this year. First matchup in week 3, 5 catches for 78. We've now got him for 6 for 68. Here's Hart running on 3rd down, and Tulsa makes the stand right with the first hit. Carson Miller with the 2nd, and Hart is stopped 1 yard short of the sticks.
Yeah, and for Tulsa now, the ball is in their court, being able to stop Louisiana after the pick 6. If they can get a score here, even a field goal, this game is right back to being, kind of where we were at the start of it.
Our first look today at Walter Melanishin, and Tulsa nearly blocks it. Get ready, Gabriel Manning is great at these. Room to run, sidestep and breaks out of a tackle. Manning 5th in the SFL in average and 6th in total yards as a punt returner, even though he hasn't scored any touchdowns. Not many people score punt return touchdowns, so obviously those numbers can often get bloated. So he's doing very well, even though he doesn't actually have any points to show for it. 2nd straight stop by this Tulsa defense after Louisiana scored on each of its first 3 possessions. Obviously 2 touchdowns and 1 field goal. Now what can the Desperado offense do? Here goes Brown, tries to jump over the first wave and cannot. Hit after a short gain by Slyn Shady.
Yeah, picking up a few yards there, getting 2 nice, respectful start to the drive.
Great offseason pickup for GM Ross Napoli and Louisiana. 9th-year veteran, native of Staffordshire, England. Slyn Shady spent the last couple of years as the middle linebacker for Las Vegas. Comes over here to be an outside backer, and he's having a great year. 2nd and 8. On the ground they go, and wrenched down. Short gain. Nowhere really to go. Luther Gond, who is having another really good season on that stop.
Yeah, just, overall, really, is there anyone on Louisiana that you can say is not having a good season? It's kind of hard to say, really.
Brian Craven, I guess. He won't be happy with us for pointing that out, but only at 1 sack for him, former linebacker. But, yeah, I just did that just to make fun of him. But, yeah, across the board, this Louisiana defense is fantastic, no doubt. Q to throw, 1st down, Tulsa. That was well-timed. Zips it across midfield. Nice gain from Q. First catch of the day for the tight end, Jason France.
Yeah, Jason France, he's been kind of a regular here in Tulsa, been playing here a few years, and just able to catch it in space, turn around, get an extra yard or 2, cross the midfield. Good job for the Desperados.
Gain of 12 on that play off of a career game last week against Florida. Tulsa gave up 48 points in that game, but France still went off for 112 receiving yards on only 6 catches. Louisiana showing blitz from the 47. They'll go on the ground. Well, they run right next to each other, Brown and McMichaels. That was nicely done. And Brown is able to spin out and get 8.
Yeah, picks up, 8 yards on the play. Plows through the first line of defense. Was only really stopped by the last resorts here for Louisiana. And right now, Tulsa, they're finding the holes, and they're really making Louisiana pay.
Louisiana had to make a bunch of changes to this roster defensively in the offseason, and they've all stepped up, to your point earlier, Jack. 2nd and 2. Here goes Brown again. First down for Douglas Brown as he steps across. 32 yards for him there, and stopped by Mike Ryan. The first time we've got to say this. Number 1 pick versus number 1 pick. Set to do battle for the 2nd time this season. Douglas Brown, obviously, number 1 pick of the season 18 drafts. Mike Ryan, number 1 pick in the season 16 draft, going to San Diego, now in his 2nd year playing for Louisiana. Their first time meeting on the field, at least today. Time ticking in the 2nd quarter. Q, as all day, zips it to the bottom of the screen, caught by Manning. He accelerates and is stopped up at the 17-yard line. Tulsa halves the distance on 1 play, a gain of 17 for number 18.
Yeah, and for Gabriel Manning, you can see him just turn on the jets, and in comes Mike Ryan to stop it. Possibly a touchdown-saving tackle as Tulsa continues to move the ball at will.
Manning not used to making catches against Louisiana that don't go for touchdowns. When these two teams met earlier this year in the Bayou, he had 3 catches, 104 yards, and 2 scores. A prototypical Gabriel Manning game. From the 17, Tulsa in the red zone for the first time. Brown is stood up. Nice stick at the end of it by veteran corner Rolliman Hood.
Yeah, just a nice stop, nice run. Not really much more that you can really pick apart on that. As the clock continues to wind down, we should get probably 2 or 3 more plays for the 2-minute warning.
Of 2 North Carolinians on this, at least identified North Carolinians on this Louisiana team. Hood and Otis Boudreaux, the other. High snap, Q corrals. This way he goes. That's caught again by Manning. His 3rd catch today. Remember, he had that drop. That was a similar play to the one that he did drop, Jack, but Arthur makes the tackle that time. Too far away for Manning, who was able to haul that in. Tulsa has been pretty good on 3rd downs this year, 55%. That is the league average. And they do not score very much, 20th in points per game. On the ground, they will run it. Brown has the first down, and he's hit just shy of the goal line. A touchdown-saving tackle somehow by Blake B. Craze, the veteran linebacker. You got to get another look here.
Yeah, that is an immaculate tackle. Gets it right in the nick of time, shoves him down, and that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning.
Nothing wrong with that one. Clearly short of the line to gain. We have hit the 2-minute warning in Tulsa. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. Happy to have you with us. Crunch time for the Desperados after they trailed 17-0 in this game. They will set up 1st and goal from inside the 1. Douglas Brown alone in the backfield with Q under center. The Revs stack the line. Q looks, they will throw out of here. Back of the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Tulsa. DJ Hume has his first catch, his first target, and the offense has its first score. It's a brand new ball game.
Yep, and just like that, we went from what was looking to be a Louisiana cruising victory to now Tulsa. They're right back in it.
4th touchdown of the season for the 4th-year wide receiver from scenic Kansas City, Missouri. DJ Hume has settled in really nicely into his role with Tulsa, now obviously playing with his 2nd quarterback. And how about those numbers for JQ? We've mentioned not his fault so far, Jack. He's not had a very good season, let's be honest. But so far to start here, completion percentage could use some work in limited action, but that was a really good drive that he spearheaded.
That is true, and so now it's a 3-point ball game. And Louisiana, they got to be kind of checking their rearview mirrors.
Revolution, it seemed like they kicked it into full gear, like you said, but Tulsa, at least for now, brings that to a screeching halt. Pick 6 by Cameron Shaw, and then a 3-and-out forced by the Tulsa defense. Then they capitalize on that. Drive the length of the field, 7 plays, 61 yards, capped off by that 1-yard passing touchdown from Q to DJ Hume. Looked like a risky choice to me, Jack, but ends up paying off. Banks with the sidestep, and how about that move from Adam Banks out to the 26?
Yeah, not bad at all. And for Louisiana, they gotta start moving the ball now. They don't got a lot of time, and if they want to extend their lead, even to 6 would be fine. They need to do it now.
Check out those numbers for Colin Hart. nearly 700 rushing yards on the balance of this season, and now over 1,000 total yards of offense after what he's done today. But see it there, he's not done very much, at least not on the ground. Squarebush has been the more effective option. Utah again with that sidearm sling, and Cameron Collier makes his second catch. Thirty carries for Collier, fourth-year fullback from Vancouver, Washington, and 27 catches, and nearly twice as many receiving yards as rushing yards on the balance of this season. Again, a guy who can do a little bit of everything. One of the most used fullbacks in the league. 2nd and 8. Utah has all day, fires, and a nice link up. There is B. Robo. He now goes over the 20-yard mark for the first time, out to the 47. That was a gain of 24. They will go quickly again with 1:10 to go. Utah again wants it all, and again he has it. Out to the 31 of Tulsa. Another big gain for this Revolution offense. Chase Earl has another big catch.
Yeah, just a nice long bomb down to now within the 40-yard line of Tulsa. And Louisiana looking just like they were back in the earlier parts of the first quarter. And they still got a bit of time left and the 2 timeouts.
Quitting. This is what Louisiana looked like in the first quarter. It has not looked like it here in the second quarter as Tulsa has wrested control back, but the Rebs take their first timeout, trying to add some more breathing room before the halftime break. Gain of 16 there for Earl. From the 31, Utah into traffic and swatted away. There were 3 or 4, whatever color shirts those are, Jack. There were 4 of them, not the right color for Utah to throw at. Miles Gibson with the swat.
Maybe he saw something that looked like the Louisiana green and was like, "Hey, you know what? That's
my
close
guy.
enough." Yeah.
I told you they're close enough, at least for me. So maybe Utah is feeling the same way. Miles Gibson has swatted 10 passes this year, top 15 in the league. Not bad for a middle linebacker. From the 31, another sidearm throw from Utah. Out of the backfield they go. That's Holden McNeil, one of the backup tight ends, and a gain of 7. Holden onto the ball there. 50 seconds left. Utah this way and on a cross. It's caught right in front of Cameron Shaw. Nice link up. Another catch for Chase Earl. Right back they go. No timeouts coming from either side. McNeil's wide open again. Instead, Utah will go to the end zone in double coverage, and Tulsa defends it very nicely.
Yeah, pats it down, and now for Louisiana, they're kind of in a situation where they're going to have to try and go at least a little bit deeper to get to that end zone.
Seen both Blue and Earl split the 2 safeties for big gains earlier today. Not this time. Wright and Thornton, the 2 more senior safeties for a very young Tulsa secondary, was ready to make that stop. Now from the 15, 32 seconds left. Deep drop for Utah, but he drops right back into the rush. Hat trick of sacks for Berto. Demora completely obliterates Cole Katz on the outside.
Yeah, that was just a little bit too much there from Tulsa for Utah to handle. And now on 3rd and 18, they're going to have to try and really dig deep in the playbook if they want to even just try and make this an easier field goal.
No doubt, and this would be a 40-yard field goal here from Boudreaux, which is well within his range, safe to say. Again, they make it easier on him. Utah once more, they've got it! And stopped at the goal line is B. Robo. On 3rd and 19, a gain of 20-plus for Robo, who continues his career season.
Well, if you're going to talk about a dig deep into the playbook sort of situation, there we go. B. Robo, just catching it just at the apex of the defense. They were lucky that wasn't let in for a score. Now 24 seconds left. They need to get it. Then they're looking to get a touchdown.
They might bring out Boudreaux right here. Oh, this is crazy, Jack. They did all of the hard work, and from the goal line with 24 seconds, on comes Boudreaux.
I understand you don't have timeouts, Tim, and I can understand their worry. But at the bare minimum, go for one shot at the end zone with the run. If you don't get that, spike the ball and then kick. Don't kick already.
That's crazy. And to your point, great point that I didn't notice, they called their 3rd timeout after that catch from Robo. Another confusing move, because if your plan is to just kick it, then let the clock run down to 3 seconds before you call the timeout. There was no need to do it with 23.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a very confusing little set of events there from Louisiana. We'll have to see whether or not settling for 3 instead of going for 6. We'll have to see that'll haunt them later down the line because this game is not out of reach for Tulsa.
Question about it. It remains a 6-point game. Probably no time left for them to do anything in the half. I say that as Gabriel Manning, the all-time leader in kick return yards, gets out to the 24. But for JQ, who has had a dismal season passing, he's last in the league in yards and last in completion percentage. He's thrown a decent number of touchdowns with 19. But, I mean, any chance that we see Tulsa try to air it out here with 3 timeouts?
Maybe I could see them doing it once or twice. And, well, looking at that formation, I think the answer is going to be yes.
This is crazy. They do have 3 timeouts. They have a kicker this year, Brooke Beisel, who has struggled, so they're going to have to go deep to give her a shot. Maybe that'll change the mind of Deion Hawkins and company. That was through the hands of Gabriel Manning once again. Kind of hard to believe. That was a much more difficult catch to make than his previous one, but, you know, certainly still catchable. They'll change the formation now here, Jack. They'll go 3 wides and 1 tailback. That's Brown. 14 seconds left in the first half. Down by 6. Q will throw. JQ launching it over the middle, and Manning shows you what he can do right to the 49-yard line, a gain of 25.
If they're looking to score here, they need to call the timeout, and yes, they do, but they took off like 5 seconds.
It took them forever. That catch was made with about 6 seconds left, I thought, and then they do call the timeout with 3. So now maybe that clock management from Louisiana and Gerald Smith at the last drive might come back to hurt them.
Yeah, it very much could. We'll have to see what happens on this play, though.
Hail Mary at the end of the first half. Look at that passer rating for JQ. Nearly twice what it's been over the balance of this regular season. And they will bring out the Hail Mary formation. What a turn of events this could be. From their own 49-yard line, Q will cock and fire towards the end zone. He's got 2 defenders there, and it's picked off. It'll just be another takeaway for this excellent Louisiana defense. Stat padding for them at the end of it. Tank Bennett's got number 9. That's just a dead or alive play at the end of the first half.
Yeah, I mean, that is understandable. You know, you're just gunning for it deep. You're down by 6. Had that gone the other way and had Tulsa converted the Hail Mary for the touchdown, that could have been disastrous for Louisiana. But alas, we go to the half, a 6-point lead for the Revs.
I'm with you, Jack. I don't have any problem with that decision from Tulsa. You get to midfield, that is within range in this league for a Hail Mary bid, even for JQ. And they had a shot at him. I mean, he was 10 yards short of the end zone at the end of the day, and it will be just a free pick for Louisiana. But I have absolutely no problem with that because the chance of Louisiana scoring on that play are very slim, even though we know how good this defense is. Even with that said, you don't expect that Louisiana will score, so what's the risk you run? Just go for it and see if you can get 6 or 7 points and take the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. But now, as we head into the half, it's been a very interesting game here, Tim Hackett. You know, Louisiana, it was looking like they were going to run away with this game, run away with the East Division title. But then during the second quarter, something changed. Something happened on that Tulsa sideline. And they were like, we're not out of this quite yet. And they put themselves back and surged to a 3-point deficit. And now it's 6 points between these two.
Well, Otis Boudreaux strikes twice, but the Rev offense also strikes twice. You see the Tulsa defense striking there, that pick 6 from Cameron Shaw, his second this season. And then the Tulsa offense engineers its best drive of the day, helped by this reception from Gabriel Manning, capped off by the touchdown from Q to DJ Hume, and it is a brand new game. 17-0 Louisiana. They score on their first 3 possessions, and then Tulsa scores on 2 straight, including the defensive score. This was the play that led to the questionable call of the day so far, Jack. 20 yards from Utah to Robo, and then they kick from there. They could have had at least one chance to punch it in, but they end up kicking it. They end up getting 3, and that helps make up this 6-point margin.
Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe Louisiana's just looking to have that record-breaking day from Otis Boudreaux today. He makes 1 more field goal. He ties Amanda Moyer's record for 34 made field goals in a season.
Glad you've been keeping up on that for me because I haven't been doing a good job of mentioning how close it is. Yes, one more ties the record, and knowing Boudreaux, he's likely to do that. Last week, Louisiana scored 28 points. He did not attempt a field goal. I'm not sure how many other times this season that has happened because, again, he has made more than 30 kicks this season, by far the most in the league, and he's got 2 more to already add to a franchise record and what could become a league record-setting season for the fourth-year kicker from North Carolina. Tulsa will get the ball to start off the second half, and here we go. Division title on the line, deep return, but Manning is never afraid of things like that. He will get out to the 23. Happy to have you with us. Tim Hackett and Jack Brown in the booth. Mark Lopez, Rochelle Colston in the stat truck. Cameron Irvine working very hard behind the scenes on what has been a very busy and momentous week for him in a lot of ways. So power to you, Cam, for all that you have done for the SFL over the last couple of weeks. If you're a part of the community, you already know. If you're new to the community, you got to get up to date on all the crazy stuff in a good way that has happened off the field, behind the scenes in the SFL just in the last couple of weeks. It's a lot of good stuff. Douglas Brown will get the carry here to start off the second half. Sidesteps and runs right into Luther Gahn with no gain.
No game, but no loss for Tulsa as it sets up a 2nd and 10.
Brown has had a couple of excellent games in his rookie season. Again, close to 1,000 rushing yards. He's got to do some work here in the second half to get to that. He needs about 50 more rushing yards here in the second half, but he's known to do it, and he's surpassed 100 rushing yards against Louisiana already once this year. Here goes Brown. Runs right into traffic. There were 3 different Rev defenders that were there to help make the stop. Spearheaded by Chance Wall, and even Arthur comes in to help. As a team, they're 11th in rushing, but dead last in the league in passing yards and total yards. Only 317 yards per game on average. The league average is better than 380. It's been a tough year at times. Q fires low throw, but it's caught for a first down. That was nicely done. How did they do that? First catch today for Corey Jones.
Well, I can tell you how they're going to do it. And you see it right here, just moving around the pockets. JQ just barely beat out the defender, took a little stutter step, and it caused the defender to bite down too hard. And that is a first down for the Tulsa Desperados.
Jones has caught 9 touchdowns this year. That is 4th best in the league. Remember, Q has only thrown 19 before today, so half of his total touchdowns have gone to one guy. Manning has only caught 4, which is a very low number for him. From the 37, Q wide open, top of the screen. There they go. First down again for Tulsa and a gain of 12.
And it's another first down for the Desperados. They are looking just as good as ever. They're looking to pick up right from where they left off at the end of the last half.
DJ Hume on the catch. He also caught a touchdown when these two teams matched up in week 3, so he's got 4 receiving touchdowns this year, 2 of them against Louisiana. Sidearm sling from Q, and it's caught on a diving grab by Gabriel. Check that, it's Corey Jones, 13, not 18. 2 catches on this drive for Jones after he didn't have any in the first half.
Yeah, and once again, Tulsa moving the ball with conviction. They are looking to get in front of Louisiana here to start the second half.
Trailed this entire game, remember, down 17-0. Then they rattled off 14 in a row before the field goal inside the final half minute by Boudreaux and Louisiana. First possession of the half for either team. Q open to the top of the screen, but stepping out of bounds is Manning. This link-up hasn't quite been online so far, Jack. It's their 3rd year playing together. It's not like it's a rookie connection, but it's not been quite online so far today. Was completely revamped over the offseason. They bring in a 4th wide receiver, or really convert a 4th wide receiver. Louisiana jumps offside again. Here goes Brown breaking through the tackle of Hood and then brought down by Bennett. It'll be a gain of about 8 for Douglas Brown, but we do have yet another penalty, and it sure looks like another offside.
Neutral zone infraction, number 55, defense.
There you go. 4th offside penalty of this game. 2 now on either side, and that's Brian Craven, the former linebacker, guilty of that one.
Yeah, kind of surprising there, but for Louisiana, I understand you're kind of flustered right now. You're only up by 6 when you were up by 17. But you still got to keep calm, got to keep composure.
Did decline the penalty, so it'll be 3rd and 2. Brown gets the first down and more, breaks through a hit and gets to the 15-yard line before he's finally stopped by Mike Ryan. Number 1 pick versus number 1 pick, number 24 versus number 24. A bruising run from Brown, first down Tulsa. The best runs today for Douglas Brown. There's a look at Corey Jones, who already has 2 catches, 4 first downs on this drive. Tulsa into the red zone on the first possession of the second half. They'll give it to Brown. Spin move by Brown, jump move by Brown, touchdown for Brown. 7th rushing touchdown this season for the rookie Douglas Brown, and this game is all tied up.
All tied up right now, Tim, and with the extra point pending, Tulsa could stick their nose right in front of Louisiana with a 1-point lead as the Revolution. They are struggling to keep things moving in their favor.
Team in Louisiana that averages just 18.5 points allowed this season. The best mark in the league has already given up 20. Now, the offense did give up 7 of those points, right? But as a team, Louisiana has been tremendous in all facets defensively. Tulsa, once again, marches down the field and strikes. Here comes the PAT from the rookie Brooke Beisel. It's good, and Tulsa goes from down 17-0 to in the lead for the first time this afternoon.
Yeah, Tulsa's come roaring back. They know they still want that division in play for, and they still are looking to make their first playoff appearance in a good number of seasons for their franchise.
9 plays, 77 yards, including that 15-yard rushing touchdown for Douglas Brown, who now has 76 rushing yards. He needed about 90 to make that about 80 to break 1,000 rushing yards in his first year in the SFL. The SFL has partnered with Rare Drop and Rare Drop Sports to advance live events and distribution. Live and in-person championship weekends, rookie drafts, and community events are in the works. Rare Drop Sports Twitch channel will broadcast 5 Season 18 playoff games starting Saturday, April 23rd in the wild card round. Visit raredrop.co for more info on what the company does for community, and follow Rare Drop Sports on Twitch at twitch.tv/rdsports. One of the many moves that the SFL has been making recently. Louisiana's going to need to make some moves to get back into this game. That's a good start. Collier makes the catch, stopped barely short of the sticks by Miles Gibson.
You know, I'm kind of surprised they didn't give him that first down, as it was right there. But I guess it was a little bit too close for comfort. So, 2nd and inches.
3rd reception today for Collier. We haven't seen a lot of Randy Squarebush of late, Jack. 3rd time, Louisiana trailing for the first time. Hart gets the carry. He's hit in the backfield, but is able to fall across the first down line and get the first down. Philadelphia Collins makes the tackle. So all's well that ends well there for Louisiana. Very nearly could have had the first on the previous play. Nearly didn't have the first on that play, but they get it.
That they do.
First possession of the half for the Revs. Here goes Hart. First time we've really seen any of these running backs in a little while, Jack. It's felt like Tulsa has had the ball for a long time after they barely had the ball at all in the first quarter. Remember, it was 1 first down and out for the Desperados to start. Since then, they have put together a couple of really long drives. That pick 6 also helps for sure, but this has been just a complete about-face for Tulsa. Their last couple of possessions, 10-play drive, 9-play drive, and of course, 2 touchdowns. Here goes Hart again. Spin move by Colin Hart. That is what he can do. First down, Louisiana. Hart now over 700 rushing yards on the balance of this season. And again, it's interesting to see how this breakdown has happened between Hart and Squarebush. I just mean stat breakdown, not emotional breakdown. 2-1 numbers for Hart in pretty much every facet. They will go to Hart out of the air. It doesn't happen very often. Gets just 2. So what I mean by that is on the balance of the season, now through 10 weeks of this dual running back experiment. 163 carries for Hart, 83 for Squarebush. So just about twice as many carries for Hart, just about twice as many yards for Hart, 3 times as many touchdowns, 6-2 in terms of rushing. But all 3 of these tailbacks, or ball carriers at least, all have pretty much the same average. Utah will toss it out, slings, and Robo makes the catch, yards short of the sticks. Wright makes the check that, it is blue. I do that every single time. 86, not 88. Blue makes the catch. So the rushing averages for these 3 ball carriers: Hart 4.2 yards per carry, Squarebush 4.1, and Collier 4.3. So no matter who you give it to, you're pretty much going to get the same result on the balance of this season. And on the other side, Brown 4.0 yards per carry. On 3rd and short, Utah wants it all, and that is Robo who makes that catch inside the red zone on one big play, and the tackle, Cole Katz, is down behind the play for Louisiana.
That could be something that really switches the balance of this game. Well, let's see what happened to Cole Katz. And it just looked like he got hit a little bit too hard as he was sent down. Maybe he landed on the tailbone, you know. That could hurt.
That has been a one-sided battle in favor of Berto Demora on the balance of this season. He was last on this team in terms of their 3 standout linemen in sacks with only 5. Both Jaden Swift and Chris Andrews combined for 15. Haven't heard too much from either of those 2 guys. It's been all Berto so far today. And now he's going to go up against a different tackle, at least for now, for Louisiana. From the 19, here goes Hart, accelerates and gets 5.
Simple as they come, a little run up the middle, gets him a few yards, and now they're down to Tulsa's 14.
If you're just joining us, the postseason expectations, the postseason prospectus is clear for both of these sides. If Louisiana wins, the division is theirs. If Tulsa wins, they could win the division with another win and a Louisiana loss next week. No gain that time really for Hart. Stopped after a gain of maybe 1 or 2 by Carson Miller. So Tulsa needs to win today. They would become 6-5 if so. Louisiana would be 7-4. Then they need Louisiana to lose next week and fall to 7-5. If Tulsa then were to win next week in the regular season finale, they would also be 7-5, clinch a playoff spot, and win the division outright a year after winning only 2 games.
What a
Utah
remarkable turnaround that could be.
No kidding, and Shaw nearly turns that one around into another touchdown. That's the 12th target today for Chase Earl, and nearly was the second that resulted in an interception. 4th down now for Louisiana. And no surprise, Jack, to your point earlier, here comes Otis Boudreau to attempt another field goal. The SFL's leader in field goal attempts and field goal makes. His only miss this year was one that was blocked. It's on, and it's good. 34 made field goals this season for Otis Boudreau, tying the SFL record, and Louisiana is back in front.
This game is still nowhere near over, Tim. Pretty much stuck where we are.
Now, this calculus has changed faster than I can do some quick math offhand, Jack. But to your point earlier, you brought this up. Before this game started, Otis Boudreau was the Louisiana offense. And I mean that literally. Before this game started, Otis Boudreau had accounted for as many points this season as the rest of the Louisiana offense combined. Manning will start Tulsa's drive at the 25. The calculus worked like this. He made 31 field goals. That's 93 total points. PATs on 19 total offensive touchdowns and 2 defensive touchdowns. Another 21 points. 114 points just by kicks made by Otis Boudreau. Now, the Louisiana offense accounted for 19 total touchdowns, 9 throwing from Tommy Utah, and 10 rushing from Hart, Squarebush, and Collier. Q throws this way, caught for a gain of 6 by Corey Jones, his 3rd catch of the quarter. Oh, timeout. Cole Katz is done for this game, Jack, and that could be a big difference for the Rev offense.
Yeah, knee tendonitis, that can really hurt. Luckily for him, though, the SFL Medical Center and its infinite wizardry. He'll be back out on the field next week.
We're happy to see it, and so is Tommy Utah, I'm sure. Nice tackle after a short gain by Brown. A tackle made by number 55 for Louisiana. That is Brian Craven, the defensive end. So just to punctuate that point, 114 points by Boudreaux, 19 touchdowns by the Louisiana offense. 19 times 6 is 114. So before today, 114 points for the Rev offense, 114 points for Otis alone. Unbelievable. First down for Douglas Brown, saying shine the spotlight back on me. I'll say okay. Runs right into Slin Shady, but another first down for the Desperados.
Yeah, another first down as the Desperados are now looking to go slow and methodical. They still got a lot of time left here, and they're only down by 2. You know, they can take their time on this next drive or two.
I'm not sure how Cameron Irvine is able to do the math, but we'll shout out to him. He's telling me 11 points for Otis today, 12 for the rest of the Rev offense because they've scored 2 touchdowns. First down for JQ. Fires tipped, and nearly picked by Mike Ryan. It's unbelievable based on his season that he didn't haul that one in somehow, Jack. And well, Tulsa says thank you very much.
Second and 10 from Will Holter, 38
11 interceptions this season for Mike Ryan, including a streak of double-digit straight games with an interception. He's second in the league in total picks. Should have had one there. Q swatted and nearly picked again. Again, 4 Rev players were there, including Chuck Diesel, the middle linebacker, who's now swatted 8 passes this year. Back-to-back risky throws for JQ, who has now thrown 31 interceptions after that one at the end of the half, most in the league.
Yeah, and nearly added another one to the total. He's been known for taking the risky throws, and this time he's looking to keep the risks up.
It's a unique combo. Last in the league in completion percentage, but also last in passing yards, also last in quarterback rating. It's been a difficult year 3 for JQ. Here goes Brown. They'll try to run it to save face a little bit on this drive, but they needed 10. They get just 3. Chuck Diesel again on the stop. Ooh, and Slin Shady going a bit crazy on that one. And that'll send out the punt unit for Tulsa.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, that's all he really needed. So now Tulsa looking to punt it away.
First time we've seen Ismaila Farouk in a little while for Tulsa. Again, Adam Banks has been really good in punt returns and limited action since joining this team. Decent return for him there, right about in line with what he's done so far this year. The SFL has partnered with Laser to deliver digital SFL player trading cards to its players and viewers, starting this postseason exclusively on the SFL's Twitch broadcasts. Viewers every 30 minutes will be issued one of 18 trading cards, or you can buy the entire pack through Laser's store and receive the complete set of common, uncommon, rare, and ultra-rare memorabilia. Visit layzr.gg and click the Join Alpha button to connect your Twitch account. Exciting moves from the SFL. Utah back in front, throws another interception right over the middle of the field, and Ricky Thornton brings it down. Tulsa rights the ship. The Desperados could now go back in front.
You could tell what Tommy Utah was trying to do there. He was trying to throw a laser deep and hopefully try and just get some points on the board, make a statement play. However, unfortunately for them, Tulsa was able to reach up and grab it from the sky, take it back from the other way. Now Tulsa has the chance to make a statement.
7th interception this season from Ricky Thornton. Again, 27 total interceptions by this top 6 on Tulsa, and everyone has 2 or more. Talk about spreading the wealth. Thornton now with 7. We mentioned Wright earlier has 8. Cameron Shaw now has 5. That's crazy. Brown has nowhere to go. Stuck at the line. Nice hit out there by number 96. That's Blake B. Craze, the linebacker. Guys on this Rev roster who was not on the team last season but has been on this team before, brought back by Ross Napoli to help fill some gaps as all teams have expanded rosters going into this 18th season. Both teams have some new looks. Another penalty flag flies. Q's pass is caught by Hume, who then gets stuck immediately after making the catch. Do we have offside call number 5 today?
Let's see here.
Neutral zone infraction, number 68, defense.
There you go. and the second against Leonard Butler Sr. And Louisiana has not been a great sacking team this year, just 12.5 by their team, and Luther Gond has half of those, 6.5 of their 12.5. Leonard Butler also had 4, so between those two, 10.5 sacks, 2.5 by the entire rest of the team before today, and now 2.5 offsides penalties as well. Risky throw again from Q, going for Manning, and swatted away again by Chuck Diesel.
Yeah, it just seemed to be... It seems to be that both these quarterbacks are trying to get off a lot more than they can chew, at least during this third quarter. And, well, that obviously hasn't been working out well for either of them.
No kidding. Q has completed 55% of his passes, and that's it. Utah has completed 80%, only 5 incompletions, but 2 of those have been intercepted. 3rd and 5, critical moment in this game. Q throws, first down Tulsa, and a whole lot more, a gain of 30 for Jason France, and that is how the third quarter will end. The Desperados on the doorstep, looking to rally back in front once again. This is the SFL, presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. Wow, biggest play of the day for Jason France, who went over 100 receiving yards last week against Florida. He has his second grab today. 1st and goal now from the 1. Offset eye, the give to Douglas Brown, who is wrenched down in the backfield. Excellent stop on 1st down by this Louisiana defense, and that is Ross Napoli, who had just 5 tackles this season, Jack, before that one.
Yeah, and now looking to put himself right on the line as Louisiana, their division title hopes are right here resting with all this time left.
Here goes Brown, and again Louisiana is ready for it. That time it's Gond. 6.5 sacks, 11 tackles for loss for the 4th-year D tackle from Buffalo. And before this game, and another stop in the backfield for him here. 3rd down and goal. Back-to-back stops by this Rev defensive line against the stud rookie Douglas Brown. They will run it again. McMichaels, touchdown, Tulsa.
And that puts them right back in front as the fullback, McMichaels, pokes his head through, gets into the end zone, and oh no, wait, actually that was Douglas Brown. Sorry, we both.
That's on me. That's on me.
Yeah.
It's Douglas Brown, offset from the left, and well, stepped on it for Douglas Brown. His 7th rushing touchdown of the season. Make that 8 because it's his 2nd today, and that was all him. Louisiana stopped him twice, but 3rd time was the charm for Tulsa, and the Desperados take the lead. The curse of the duck uniform strikes that time, Jack. What can I say?
Yeah, not much more on top of that.
A duck of a call, I guess. Brooke Beisel comes on for another PAT. She's hit all 4 today, and Tulsa takes the lead once again. How about Douglas Brown, who came into today 919 rushing yards. He now has unofficially 86 rushing yards. He is over the 1,000-yard mark for the first time in his career as a rookie. An impressive milestone. His 2nd rushing touchdown today. He's now got 8, and he has helped to power this Tulsa comeback. It's not been a flawless season for him as a rookie, Jack, but he's really lived up to the hype, I feel.
Yeah, you never expect a rookie to have a flawless season, He's growing into his own. Coming into the SFL proper, it's a big step up, but he's adjusted to it very well. Two of the top rookie halfbacks are in this game right here, and you can tell, both of them have adjusted to the game pretty dang well, even if, their usages are pretty different.
Yeah, I was about to say the same exact thing. We haven't heard a lot from Randy Squarebush of late, but Brown has 3 times the number of carries as Squarebush does, but that's what happens when you're the feature back. Here goes Hart getting the lion's share of the work here in the 2nd half, and Colin Hart rumbles for a 1st down, a gain of 11.
Nice run from Colin Hart, of course, the main guy on this Louisiana offense, the bell cow, you could say, for this team, and he is just still fighting. He knows the division title is still within grasp.
Feels like he's had a better day than he has, at least to me, Jack. And we've now got him at 39 total rushing yards. You see it there on 13 carries, so an average of 3 yards per carry. A lot worse than he normally does, but still feels like he's been a big part of this team. Then we'll go to Collier out of the backfield. A nice run after the catch for Cameron Collier, give him 9.
Nice gain, and that's going to be a 2nd and 1 situation for Louisiana. Still playing it right up close and personal with Tulsa.
It's remarkable to me, Jack, to see how well Tulsa has done this season. A lot of these baseline stats do not paint them in a positive light. They are last in the league in total yards on offense and total yards on defense, and they're still 5-5. Utah is going to take off and run. Old school quarterback run, slides across the midfield line and gets a first down. How about that?
What remarkable play awareness for Tommy Utah. He knew he only needed 1 yard. He didn't need that much. And when he saw that Tulsa had basically parted the Red Seas for him to run right up the middle, any quarterback worth their salt's going to take that sort of run. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you never see that in the SFL, though. That's awesome. Good luck, stat team. Here goes Colin Hart. Sheds the first tackle and then gets stood up at the end of the run by Toby Jules and company. A nice run, though, for Colin Hart. Give him 5.
5 yards on the bounce for Colin Hart, as now Louisiana sets themselves up nice and well. They can really play anything they want out of their playbook.
Remember, they've got a highly successful kicker, but they're only down. They now are down by 5. They need more than that as Hart gets stood up, and his tackler didn't even leave his feet to make that play. It's Ricky Thornton, who's made a handful of tackles and had that interception. Now over 90 tackles on the balance of the season, 4th-year defensive back, 7 picks, couple of pass deflections on the course of the year. Been a good season for the former corner.
Yeah, he's been doing all that and a bag of chips to boot.
And Daniel Wright, who was the number 5 defensive back last year, promoted to the starting free safety job this year. He's had a big season as well. Hart again, the give, and again, Tulsa is there for the stop. That's Nate Heslip, the veteran corner, who's been at this for, well, check that. It's King Rashid, 27. That 7 looks a whole heck of a lot like a 1, if you ask me. But King Rashid, who has not been doing this nearly as long as Heslip has, the rookie out of Annapolis, with a big stop on 3rd down. Try to pin the Desperados back deep. To the corner it goes, and it bounces into the end zone. A net of just 24 yards for the star punter, Walter Melanishin. That did not go the way the Revs wanted, Jack Brown, and Tulsa will now start off in decent position, try to extend this lead.
Yeah, it just seemed to bounce the wrong way, Tim. He was looking to get that ball out of bounds at around the 5 or so. But unfortunately for him, a bad bounce, and so for Tulsa, they're going the other way. They got 80 yards to go for Pater.
Team that started this game down 17-0 in the blink of an eye has really turned the corner and turned the tide. So JQ will throw. Similar play that they've run a couple of times today. DJ Hugh makes the catch, sidesteps and moves down the sideline. First down, Tulsa.
And that's a huge first down for the Desperados, as DJ Hume was able to break it to the outside. You can see the defender kind of step back to cover the guy who's going more deep. I think that was Gabriel Manning. However, DJ Hume still stuck down low, and he picked up the first down.
How about this balance so far today? 13 completions for JQ, 3 for Jones, 3 to Hume, 3 to Manning, 2 to France, and 2 to Brown. Completely spreading it around. We have not heard from Sanzo Robinson at all, the former standout tailback for Tulsa. Q goes down, another sack for the Revs. They do not do this very often, but they have been all over JQ today. Leonard Butler Sr. has another one.
Just crashing down on JQ. That blocker, though, you kind of have to ask what he was trying to do here, because he almost pushed him into JQ.
Tulsa does not give up a lot of sacks this year. Will Stevens is the anchor of this offensive line at left tackle. They've given up just 12 sacks through 10 weeks, 9th fewest in the SFL, but Q's been hit a couple of times today. 2nd and 15 now. That's a good throw to try to get back in front, but Hume is only able to get 6. Hit there by the Englishman, Flynn Shady, 3rd and 9.
Yep, and now for Tulsa, they're looking to get this first down, but these are not easy first downs to get.
Fourth catch for Hume, only 26 grabs for him over the course of the season, and he's got one of Tulsa's touchdowns today, his second against Louisiana in their 2 meetings. 3rd and 9. Hugh hit as he throws again, and the catch is made. First down, and right on cue, there is Sonzo Robinson, who spent 7 seasons as the tailback for this Tulsa team, moves to wide receiver this year with the arrival of rookie Douglas Brown. Just his 13th catch this season. It goes for 10 yards and a first down.
Yep, they got the exact amount of yards they needed, not a single one to boot on top of it, and they've been doing well.
Hashtag feed Sonzo is alive and well. No gain on that one for Douglas Brown. Stopped immediately. Well, they might give him a half yard. Stopped by Slyn Shady. Again, big season for him. 10 TFLs and 6 pass deflections before today. He's been all over the place. We've got him now at 6 total tackles here this afternoon. 5:20 left in regulation. Louisiana suddenly needing a stop. Q out of the backfield. Here goes Brown. Gets across midfield and not much further. Again, they continue to spread the wealth. 3rd catch today for Brown. Caught only 35 balls through his first 10 weeks. He's now over 200 receiving yards, over 1,000 rushing yards on the course of the season. Got a couple of rushing touchdowns. It has been a solid game. The most recent #1 overall pick. Q to throw on 3rd and 5, and just to get, well, they go backwards. He got the forward progress, though, Jack. They will give it to him. I think that's Hume, and it is. 5'10" receiver from Kansas City is able to reach out and get across the magic yellow line to move it somehow.
Yeah, that is a real amazing thing. And now for Louisiana, you got to be thinking they're starting to sweat a little bit because they are now starting to lose time as Tulsa's milking this clock. They're now down to 4 minutes and 18 seconds and counting.
Q has been really good on this drive. They give it again to Brown, and Brown has nowhere to go that time. Hit immediately by Luther Gahn. Again, he was great a season ago, still good this season. 6.5 sacks. That's a top 10 mark in the league. He doesn't have any so far today. It was Chance Wall who had one earlier. He had just one in the previous 10 games, but it's been a lot of Wall and a lot of Leonard Butler and less of Luther Gahn and Brian Craven so far for the Revs. But yeah, as you say, Jack, time ticking now, south of 4 minutes to go, and a 5-point lead for Tulsa, who has the ball. Snap it at 5. Here goes Brown again, and wrenched down from behind. Arm tackle, but an effective one by Leonard Butler. Third total tackle for him. 4th-year defensive end from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Time continues to tick. They can take almost to the 3-minute mark before they need to snap it, but they will snap it a lot sooner, and Louisiana was ready. No offside call that time. It's Butler once again, along with Slyn Shady, another key tackle for loss for the league veteran, and a big 3rd down stop for the Revs.
That is what the Revolution needed to keep themselves in this ball game. You know, because if Tulsa had gotten that first down, they'd be much more in control. And for Louisiana, they still have the 2-minute warning, and I think they still have all 3 timeouts remaining.
But you are. Louisiana, one of the things they have been fantastic on defensively this year is stopping opponents on 3rd down. Opponents convert just 49% of 3rd down opportunities against them this year. That is the 4th best mark in the league. It's also now 9 of 14, though, so much better than that average that Louisiana has given up. Returnable for Banks, and he is stopped up almost immediately. Coverage of the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports continues Saturday, April 16th, the final day of the regular season at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The South Division title will be on the line when Mexico City faces Lone Star, plus DC meets London in a crucial game for playoff seeding. NXT will also have coverage of potential divisional races up for grabs in the West, Atlantic, or East. Visit NLSE.com to find Next Level Sports in your area. This score holds. We will have a division title on the line next week, and out of nowhere, Ricky Thornton comes out from the backfield and swats that one away. What a play.
Yeah, what a massive play there from Tulsa to just bounce on it And they know that if they get a stop, they can most likely end this ball game with just a first down or two.
You need a win here, Tulsa, and a win next week coupled with a Louisiana loss, and the division title would be theirs. A season after winning just 2 games, a playoff position at the very least is in sight for Deion Hawkins and company. Sidearm throw from Utah. Here's Hart out of the backfield again. Breaks through the first tackle and then hit by King Rashid. Louisiana will go in the hurry up. This worked for them earlier.
That it did. It got them all the way down to the 2.
We'll snap it again before the 2-minute warning. Utah throws on a corner route. That's caught. Nicely done. On a quick out, Adam Banks with another catch for a first down. Banks has been money since joining this team in Week 9. 2-minute warning in Tulsa. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. Well, a game that has absolutely lived up to the billing. Tulsa won the first meeting between these two teams in Week 3, 27-13. Louisiana then won the next 6 games that it played before losing last week. Tulsa trying to sweep the regular season series and keep their shot at the division title and a potential postseason berth still intact. Utah avoids the pressure, throws right into coverage, and somehow it is dropped by Daniel Wright, a guy who has 8 interceptions this season. Rashid was there as well. He's got 5. 2 guys that know how to catch the ball could not do it there.
Tommy Utah can consider himself insanely lucky on the play. As you can see there, just he had the ball in his hands, just seemed to drop it. And I think not only had he caught that, he would have effectively ended the game, not only just by picking it off, but he looked like he had enough of a lane in front of him to possibly go for 6.
I think it's fair to say it's not piling on, Jack, how different this game could have been if Tulsa was just able to make a couple of catches. They've dropped a few what looked to be surefire interceptions. Not able to get it. Manning with 1 or 2 drops on offense as well. Oh, that throw was away from Banks. That one could have been picked off as well. 3rd down and 10.
I get that Tommy Utah is just trying to make something work, and I can understand if it is frustrating for him, the current situation he's in. But you have to calm down a little bit. I understand, the situation that you're in is rough, but you just have to take a breather, take a chill pill, take a deep breath in this play. We'll see if he did that, and we'll see what he can do.
Neither team has called any timeouts in the second half. 1:53 left in the 4th. Louisiana down by 5. Deep drop from Utah. Throws to the sideline. It's caught. That will have the distance to the first down line. Another catch for Robo, who's close to 100 receiving yards once again. And he does go out of bounds. That could be important, but it will be 4th down and ball game coming up.
Yeah, not a big fan of that play call. I think they should have gone for something that was at least a little bit more forward moving, but it does set up 4th and 6. It removes some of that gap.
2 in the backfield and 3 wides for Utah. He will throw over the middle, caught right at the first down line, and they give it to him. Robo comes through, first down Revs. Just barely enough. Utah quickly back to the line and snowed under. Down he goes. Another sack for Tulsa. Jaden Swift has his 8th of the season. Right back to the line they go. 90 seconds left. Utah lunging out to make the catch and another first down. Adam Banks does it again.
Adam Banks, he's been able to make a whole plethora of throws work.
Almost every catch in his career has gone for a first down. And now to the top of the screen. That's the play that you said earlier, Jack. They only get 5.
Yeah, but at least there, you're not in a situation where you need yards now.
60 seconds, they get yards there. Another first down for Louisiana. That's Chase Earl, who's having one of the best games of his season.
Yeah, and now Louisiana, they can kind of slow down just a smidge. Oh, they're not going to be able to slow it down, though.
That won't help. Taking down again. 2nd sack of this drive. Swift was there again. 3rd sack that he's been a part of today for Tulsa. Still 40 seconds left. Louisiana needs a touchdown. Taking its time, Utah steps, throws very short, and they only get to the 20-yard line, and there is the first timeout called by Louisiana. Robo's got the catch. He's got over 100 receiving yards today. Timeout Revs with 30 seconds left.
I like that maneuver, especially with the timeout called on top of it. You get the yards you can, and then you let the team kind of regroup, as I would expect something mid to long range on this play.
Remember, Louisiana is playing without one of its starting offensive tackles as well. Cole Katz injured earlier in the game. 30 seconds left. Utah throws short of the sticks once again. A similar play that we saw earlier this drive, Jack. It's Robo again with the catch. Another gain of 6. 4th down again coming up.
Yeah, and now I don't know what Louisiana's going to try and do. Could they go for the end zone here? No, probably not, actually, as I think about that now. But they'll probably go for just that 1st down. Aim for the sticks. Don't aim for anything more.
Louisiana needs 5 to tie the game. They need 4 to move the sticks. Second-year quarterback Utah wants it all to the end zone. Intercepted. Cameron Shaw intercepts Utah for the 2nd time today. Tulsa is going to sweep the season series, and at least for now, division title celebrations are on hold for the Revolutions. The Desperados are alive and well in the East.
Yeah, what a play call there from Tulsa to put the clamp down on Louisiana. I'm surprised they went for the end zone there, Tim. You know, I can understand the motivation, but you had your timeouts. You still had a little bit of time left. And for Tulsa, they are going to be celebrating well tonight, and they're going to be keeping their heads in the playoff race for at least a few more hours, joining the 6-5, I guess some would say, party, even if no one's having a good time.
But they might be. As you and I talked about before the game, in this league, 6 wins is all you need, it feels like, to give yourselves a chance. And Tulsa could put themselves into the playoffs for good now if they win next week. But Louisiana, they can't clinch the division now as they use their final timeout. It's academic here for the Desperados. But if Louisiana wins next week, and they will play St. Louis at home in Stack Up Stadium. They just defeated Carolina 20-12 earlier today, did the Gladiators, so Louisiana can still win the East Division next week. The scenarios are simple. If Louisiana wins next week, they are still division champs. If Tulsa wins and Louisiana loses, the Desperados are division champs. JQ takes a knee. He and Douglas Brown gave Tulsa the chance to come back. Louisiana led 17-0, but behind Douglas Brown, JQ, Cameron Shaw, Tulsa rallies for the win. The Desperados had just 2 wins last season. This season, they've got 2 wins just against Louisiana, and the East Division will come down to Week 14. Tulsa wins it 28-23 in a thriller.
What a fantastic game here, Tim. Douglas Brown, JQ together. I mean, is there any other pairing that has done so much for this team? But look at those differences in yards. Louisiana lit it up in the air. However, they just had too many costly mistakes, especially on the turnover game. You know, and once again, it seems to be that questionable field goal call towards the end of the first half, Tim. It did kind of come back to bite them, because had they gone for 7, add 4 more, they could have gone for a field goal and they could have won it easily.
You make a great point. You take those 3 points off. If they get 7 instead, if everything else holds somehow, it's 28-27. And you're right, they don't need to go to the end zone on that last throw from Utah that was intercepted by Cameron Shaw. There's one of the picks, that one from Ricky Thornton. You're 100% right, Jack. Things could have been a whole lot different. Next week, the schedules looks like this. Louisiana is at home against St. Louis. Again, they won earlier today. Tulsa is at home here in Greenwood District Stadium against Atlanta. They lost yesterday. They are now 4-7. So that's the matchups in Week 14. If Louisiana wins, they are still division champs. If Tulsa wins and Louisiana wins, they are probably still in the playoffs. So both of these teams could make the postseason. They could meet again. You never know. But Tulsa is now 2-0 against Louisiana this season after getting this season sweep. Here's the game-sealing play from Cameron Shaw.
Yeah, it's been a great game all around for both these two teams, and we'll be seeing who the player of the game here is in just a moment.
Douglas Brown, maybe?
Possibly, either him or JQ. Oh, it's Douglas Brown.
There you go. 2 rushing touchdowns for Brown, even though we stepped on the last one. He goes over 1,000 rushing yards this season and powers his team to a comeback win. The East Division will be decided next week. Tulsa sweeps the regular season series. For all of us here at the Simulation Football League, Cameron Irvine, Mark Lopez, Rochelle Colston, and my partner Jack Brown, I've been Tim Hackett. We'll see you next time. Until then, so long. Week 13 rolls on next on Twitch and